I recently bought this 2011 Genesis Coupe. This car was abandoned almost 4 years ago and left outside with the window down. Now we're talking pre-COVID, and not only that, but I live in Canada, which means when the weather was doing this, and when the weather was doing this, and everything else in between for the last 4 years, it has been going straight into this window that was left open. The black interior is definitely keeping some secrets from us. You could tell right away the seats are full of mold stains. The steering wheel is absolutely cooked. Anything chrome inside the car is absolutely destroyed. On the plus side though, the back seat is full of free stuff. And on the not so plus side, we haven't installed the winch on the other side of my garage yet.
No! Dave, I got the car. You take a breath. I drive this one.
And believe me, I would rather be doing anything else to this car, like BK2 swapping it, doing the engine swap, anything fun. But today we're gonna deal with the fact that this thing is a complete biohazard because the garage literally started smelling just from this car being in it with the window down this much. So I guess quick update on the Genesis. It rolls now, as you guys saw. It moves. Mac came over the other day and we pounded the rear brake off. Parking brake shoe is completely seized to the rotor. So we pounded that thing off. There's basically just no brake on the driver's side now. And we went ahead and replaced this tire, which had that huge blowout on the side of it. Car rolls, which is good news. Very first thing that we got for today is something really cool that a lot of you guys may not even really know about. We got an ozone generator. Check this thing out, dude. So this is nothing special. I picked this up on Amazon. I think it was like $120 or something. I actually only really know about an ozone generator from when I used to work at car dealerships when I was younger, because basically anytime you get like a smoker car in, they take an ozone generator and they pump that thing in there and they get rid of the smell inside the car. Not only does this car smell like musty assholes, it was a smoker's car. It's the first time I've ever bought a smoker's car. I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm not an expert on these. I will leave a video in the description down below. You guys can check out on exactly how these work. This turns O2, which is oxygen, into O3. So O3 is more reactive than O2, so it breaks down particles really fast. And you just lock it inside the car and run it for like an hour. And while it's in there, it should break down all like the particles that are making smells at a really fast rate, and it should also be taking care of any mold and mildew that is alive. And in preparation for that, obviously the window has to be fully sealed so that the O3 stays inside the car. The whole reason all this is happening is because the window regulator in the door failed and no one ever replaced it. We didn't know until we opened up the door that it was more than the window regulator. The entire mechanism basically exploded. But the door that guy gave us, he cut the wiring harness on. So we basically had to rip apart both doors and then piece together a single door that had the least amount of dents, damage, and up things. But the point is, we have a door. Unfortunately, we have to keep the old door skin because the new one's even worse, covered in goo and yuck. But it's there and the window goes up. And so today we're gonna take a deep dive into this Genesis, give it a deep clean, and hopefully be able to reuse most of the stuff. I might end up needing to buy some new things depending on how gross it is. I know under the carpet's gotta be absolutely disgusting, even though it doesn't look like it. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and just run this guy for, it says in the book that I actually really need to run it for like 10 to 20 minutes. I'm gonna do an hour just to be safe. There it is. 60 minutes, baby. Do your thing. Have fun. Now we wait. And obviously I have not used one of these before, so when I opened the door and a little plume of smoke came out, I was a little shocked. I had some fans ready to go though, so I just opened up both garage doors and pumped some air through that thing for about 20 minutes just to make sure I wasn't gonna die. And a $100 ozone generator from Amazon is actually kind of worth it, dude. Doesn't smell in here at all. It smells like ozone. If you guys don't know what that smells like, it's kind of like chlorine. That seat I was sitting on is probably full of mold. It used to smell like a dirty hockey bag and cigarettes. There's literally still this little stupid cigarette ashtray dumpy thingy in the right there. Good job to this little dude. That was just a surface scratch. It's time to dig into here and deal with the jank. And even though you guys know I love jank, I was not trying to mess up my brand new Committed Crew hoodie, so I suited up. I feel more like a painter than a mold remover, but let's make it happen. There was literal dirt underneath that one. Just agitating that dirt There's all kinds of new smells going on in here. I put this on as a joke earlier. I didn't actually intend on leaving it on, but it's staying on, dude. I wish this car had a lighter interior so you guys could see how bad it smells. And once I got the seats out, you have a much better view of all the free stuff this car came with. The driver's side had not one, not two, but 3 free lighters. There was also a single Gato bottle, but there was 2 lids, which is slightly sus. And the rest was honestly just garbage. Cigarette wrappers and coffee change, really. There was also some really random gray clumps on the carpet. At first I thought I was dealing with some sort of funky mold I've never seen before, but I ended up figuring this one out a little later in the video. There you go. That is a prime example of like the most random problem I'm dealing with. The interior being exposed to weather doesn't necessarily mean the biggest problem is like mold or mildew. It's that the inside of a car is not meant to be outdoors. Oopies. The thing that's really killing this car is that, like I said, the same reason all the chrome is coming off. This might be fine, but it feels like if I sit in it with all my weight, this will just crack. No matter what I do to clean these seats, they're always gonna be like, did you hear that sound it made when I squished it? They're gonna be brittle. They're gonna be gross. They've been outside. Dude, this seat has been outside for 4 years. All this stuff actually looks really good. It came out really clean. I'm actually really impressed. You guys can see that now that we have it out, there was obviously something that's disgusting. Dirt doesn't just end up there. You know, that's a spot where like maybe there was a mouse in here once and he carried some under. You can also see up here now a bit better. I think that's mold. I don't even think that's rust. So that is, again, why we're wearing the freaking hazmat suit, the mask. But we're pretty much there. This is the part where we've been working towards this all video, but I'm absolutely terrified to lift that carpet. This could be the difference between washing it and putting it back, or lifting it and finding out we have a whole new task ahead of us. Fingers crossed, I guess. I'm gonna start over here because I believe in the passenger side. Oh, yes, baby! I can deal with this. Get the f out of here. Oh my god. We are leaking all over the garage. Alright, well this is not dry by any means. I guarantee you the ground right here is already soaked. I would just kill for some fresh air. You guys saw how much dust and flying off that carpet? I would love to give that a second to air out, but dude, look at these floors. Oh, they're perfect! They're mint! If you guys are viewers of that's bright. If you guys are regular viewers, we deal with real life problems here, and 99% of you had to expect that watch every day to go so badly, because it always does. This never happens for us, dude. Oh my god. Oh, it's not mint. That little thing, I think that's a bolt coming up from the bottom. There's a little bit of rust right there. I mean, it's disgusting. That, like, all this stuff needs to go. That piece for sure is gonna be so moldy. You can see it's like green in the bottom. Gross. This could have been so bad. And so when I lifted the back seats, I realized, I think that some of that gray stuff I was peeling off the carpet, I think this guy was like a construction worker or something, because there is so much rocks and like dust back here. The lighting's very bad. There's a screwdriver, that's not mine. 3 pens, a bunch of rocks and just stuff everywhere. And there was rocks in the trunk, if you guys remember. When we bought this car, you guys can see like this is the same kind of like debris. Genesis fanboys are gonna hate me for this, but that is exactly who this car was designed for, dude. They built this car for the hardworking sportsman. It's not special, it's pretty rugged. And for example, back seats, where the trunk hits the back seats, is a hard piece of plastic for the average working man. You can throw all kinds of shit back of this thing. BRZ, not like that, not at all. A BRZ is meant for like a fine gentleman who sells cars. This is meant for like a person like me, or lots of you guys I bet, that work with their hands that also loves cars. I ended up just completely gutting it too. You can see the gas pedal has, now that I've kind of said that, this could be like some sort of concrete dust. That's actually exactly what it looks like now that I've caught on. That looks exactly like, kind of like a concrete mix from probably dusty concrete boots and then the wetness getting in the car. Yeah, I'm stoked on this. I'm still stoked on this. This is amazing. Right now, I'm gonna try this. This is a carpet spot remover, but this is also good for like fabrics, clothing, all kinds of stuff. So you can see, yuck. Now that this is out of the garage, oh God, that was gross. You can see much better like all those stains. That's rust stains from the seat. This is coffee stains because this guy did not know how to control his coffee overflow. That is strictly mold in the back. Like a lineup of mold again in the back seat. It must have just been the way the water was entering the car at some point. It says to let it stand on tough stains for 5 minutes, so I'm gonna extra soak it and give it 10. It smells fantastic. Carpet's cleaned up. I have it outside on some seahorses. I'm hoping the sun will help dry it up. I know it's still kind of wet, but it looks really good so far. Like it looks like most of the stains are gone, which is good news. So I just came in here and I was looking at the dash and I'm like, the last thing I want to do today is pull this dash. It just doesn't sound fun. So I popped this vent out, which is really easy. There's just a screw holding it in the side here. And you can see it's like there's a little bit of rust on that piece right there, but it's not bad. It's not ugly. There's no mold in there that you can see. And the best news, hopefully you guys can see there, that air duct goes up. It comes from a higher place. It goes like this. So that means that this vent was the low point, because I was basically worried that like that being there, rain coming in the window, going into the vent, going into like the heater core or something. It looks like that's the worst of it, which it's pretty bad. It doesn't really want to spin. I mean, I've spun it a couple times now, but it didn't want to spin at all. It's just a little yuckus in there. So we can give that guy a clean. You know what? We might tackle that cluster today too, just so it's done. What are the odds of me having a second auto Genesis steering wheel? What a life I live, eh? I kept this because I always wanted to do hood rat and like blow the airbag up and like whatever, have a funny video. No one ever wanted to do stupid on me, so. I actually do have a steering wheel I already want for this car, but like I said, to get it running, that one will do us just fine. And before we put it in, for easy access, I'm gonna try and see if I can make my way towards this. Okay, that's one of these 2 hand jobs. Stop it with the hand jobs. This is going absolutely stellar, dude. Jenny, oh, not Jenny. Does that mean I'm getting emotionally involved? Are you my side hoe? Not sure if that's an early morning thought or if I'm starting to like this thing a little bit. Anyways, this looks absolutely amazing. All the mold and stuff wasn't actually that bad. It came out really nicely. I stuck my phone up in there. There's nothing left. I kind of like pushed things up in there. It's all good, dude. I pulled all the wiring harnesses, cleaned all up in here. Like, I just basically sanitized the entirety of this car, and it looks super good. Paint is drying up on these guys. These also look super good. They're like the nice dark color that we were going for. And most importantly, boys, check out this carpet. Ignore the garage. It looks like a Genesis exploded inside of it. Like, I actually didn't expect it to be this good. There's no stains left. Okay, that's a lie. There's some rust stains left. Those are always like impossible to get out. That's where all the coffee stains were. Are you kidding me? You guys all know that you can power wash something and not get all the stains out of it, so I 100% contribute stains being gone to that carpet remover Concrobium spray I was using yesterday. That stuff actually killed it. So I had a fan on this side blowing up, a fan on this side blowing up all night long, and this is exactly where the heater points down to. So just make sure if you do this to a carpet, it's dry before you put it back. Otherwise, you're gonna start your problems back up. Nobody wants that. When I tore down the motor, I basically put everything in the trunk because I don't have any room to store stuff. So I took all that out this morning, and we just got to do a final area clean, which is this boy, which realistically I don't think will be that bad. We got a free snow brush. That was actually gross how much dirt came off of that. We got a license plate cover. We got an empty toolkit, which is a little not good. That's just a piece. And oh, it is wet in there. Are you serious? All right, this might be a little more work than I wanted, but we got to do it. Oh, that is we got a swimming pool on our hands, boys. I remember looking at that pack of cigarettes in the video where I got this. This must have happened since I've owned the car. It must have leaked. It probably was leaking, but the day I got it just happened to be dry. Here's a receipt in the trunk for, you guessed it, coffee, because this guy loved having coffee everywhere. And it's right beside, ew, a very wet pack of cigarettes, which is what was all over the floor of the back seat. So predictable is what they call people like this. Y'all are some nasty This morning was supposed to be easy. I never thought I'd be cleaning cement out of the back of my car like this. This is absurd. So the trunk has a bit of an issue. The trunk has some rusty spots, way worse than anything I found in the actual car. Could be more ideal. But because it's in the trunk, thankfully this wasn't in the car. There is really no problem in the car. This is not something I'm gonna deal with today. So there will of course be a day where I come back in here, sand that down, hit it with some paint or whatever. And at this point, the current state of the garage was overwhelming me super bad, so I just put my head down and got to work. I found a little brush that I started using to get in like the deep crevices on all these interior trim pieces. I used that same brush to agitate some of the dried up concrete from the pieces inside the trunk. I also hit every single interior trim piece with a vacuum and a wipe down. And I used my favorite Krud Kutter sticky adhesive remover on this door to get rid of everywhere that he had duct tape stuck to it. And then it was reassembly time. Dude, come on, this looks so good. Standing here right now with the door open, this looks like a car that you would walk up to and then get inside of. You wouldn't question it. It just looks like a normal car. Obviously, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff like the door. If you look like down here, he was rough on this car, right? He slammed water bottles in and out of here. He kicked it on his way out all the time. All in all, dude, this came out amazing. Like, look at the carpets. Oh my, I literally pulled it outside so the sun would show us if we had any real stains. And all we have is like 4 rust stains around there. Otherwise, it looks so good. And I wasn't sure at first if it was that Concrobium like carpet spray or not, but when I was doing the trunk, I did power wash the this guy, and not all the stains came out of him. Actually, he doesn't look very good at all. I hit him with a raw power wash, so I 100% am thanking that carpet remover, carpet stain remover, spray, whatever the hell you call it, for the success we had on the carpets inside the car, because dude, it just looks good. And like I said, when it comes to seats, I just don't like these ones. I'm gonna just get new ones. There is so much like mold growing in the headrest, growing. That's just mold stains. That's mold stains. There's literally death growing all over this seat. Dude, you couldn't have paid me to sit inside this car 3 days ago. And now I'm in it. And I mean, we're outside, the doors are open a little bit. It smells pretty good. The only thing we didn't clean was the headliner because I don't really know how. It shouldn't really be that dirty because it's up. I think the ozone generator is really what's gonna get any smells and stuff out of there, unless you guys know a way to clean that piece. I kind of plan on running the ozone generator one more time. Pretty much once we get the car running, I'm gonna turn on all the fans, all the vents, and just let it pump in here again and just, you know, cycle the air through everything. Now that it's all clean too, the ozone isn't like hitting dirt pretty much, you know, like a layer of dirt. It's actually gonna like go into the carpet, go into all the stuff that's clean and do a better job. Oh, and also I've completely shattered this vent. I took it out. I was gonna try and clean it, like take it apart, and accidentally broke one of the side tabs. So I gotta get a new one of those. Even the door, dude. That's the door he gave us. That's not the OEM door. Color matches pretty well. Not sure how I got into this loop of buying cars that come with doors, but regardless, it looks good. No complaining there. I'm also just impressed with how much I was able to reuse. If I had like a steamer or like maybe something with a little bit more of like an agitator brush, I could get in these speaker grills better, and like this little piece of fabric right here. I might still throw this door card just right in the garbage and get a new one. And so that is it for the interior detail, dude. I'm super stoked because this means we can get started on the engine, because there was no way I was getting into the car to even crank over any sort of engine swap. It was just so gross and it just smelled so bad. So I'm super stoked because what comes next is the good stuff. And today's challenge for you guys: first, follow the Committed Crew on Instagram. Make sure you don't miss the center embroidery hoodie drop. Today's challenge for you guys is stay true to yourself. There's always a time where you're going through something. Some of you may be in this stage right now, where you're getting input from all different corners and people are telling you to do different stuff, and they genuinely can sway your opinion because they make a good point. But what I challenge you to do is stay true to yourself and what you believe is the right move. Like I said, coming back to YouTube, I was told a bunch of stuff, a bunch of opinions from a bunch of different people on what I should or shouldn't do, and I almost did so many things. But here I am, staying true to me. The buying the Genesis video is getting a little bit of traction. People are starting to see it. And that is how I would prefer to grow my channel, on a car that I actually wanted and I'm gonna enjoy building, versus 10,000 of the other ways that people recommended I do stuff. So I just challenge you to stay true to yourself. If you're in the middle of something, pick the most true to you decision and stick to it. And it really has to be true to you. Don't do anything for anybody else, because at the end of the day, you're the only one that has to live with you, and you have to be happy with yourself and your decisions. So that's my challenge for you guys today. I will catch you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out and stay committed. I feel like it's much smaller than I thought it would be.
She said it was average size.
It's probably got a great personality. That's gonna be like the hit line in every video now. What do I even say about this?
The other owners absolutely caused way too much work for us.
Yeah, love productivity.